Arsenal are on fire after smashing Lens with a 6-star performance. Mikel Arteta's attack is evolving. So today we'll discuss Arsenal's exciting potential forward signing. We'll also break down the crazy stat behind Bukayo Saka, get the latest news on Douglas Luiz, and find out who is available for Arsenal's massive game against Wolves. Yo, what is going on guys? My name is Baz14, welcome back to your boys channel. What a win at the Emirates Stadium, Arsenal making a massive statement. As per, smash a like on the video if you enjoyed, subscribe to the channel if you are new. They're starting off with Arsenal's attacking masterclass. Arsenal have been making headlines. A 6-0 victory against Lens at the Emirates Stadium. The important part about this game was the pre-match. Mikel Arteta was being questioned. Why are Arsenal not as fluid? Arteta's response was simple. When you sit in traffic, you want to go 100 miles per hour, but I have 3 buses and 55 taxis around me. The reason why Arsenal's games have not been as exciting is because of respect. Teams in the Premier League understand Arsenal's quality. They have no choice but to deploy a deep block and park the bus. The Champions League though is a different story. For the first time this year, we saw the 6 players of Odegaard, Rice, Havertz. The front 3 of Saka, Jesus and Martinelli start together. The impact was sensational, with all players apart from Rice scoring or assisting. 6 goals from 6 different goal scorers. 5-0 up at half-time, Arsenal became the first English team in Champions League history to lead a game by 5 goals at half-time. Also becoming the first ever Champions League team to have 5 different goal scorers in the first half. This was Arsenal sending out a warning to any team that offers Arsenal space. We are going to rip you apart. In terms of XG, Arsenal winners once again. 2.7 in total, Lens is 0.44. The stats are definitely fascinating. Arsenal had less possession and less passes completed, but look at the expected threat created, Arsenal are massively higher. The field tilt is where things get even more intriguing. In the first half, Arsenal had close to nothing. The second half was a different story. Arsenal were doing things differently. Instead of focusing on being on the ball, it was all about off the ball excellence. Allow Lens to come out of their block, then rip them apart with decisive transitional football. We need to talk about Bukayo Saka. 5 years to the day after making his Arsenal debut, Saka put on a masterclass, an 8.5 rating. With 1 goal scored and 1 assist, 18 passes completed, 2 key passes, 1 accurate long ball, and 6 ground balls won. Bukayo Saka was answering questions. Many people asking, is he world class? Can he do it in the Champions League? Saka now has 7 goal contributions in 5 appearances. That is the most out of any player in the entire competition. Here's where things get crazy. Saka becomes the 3rd player in Champions League history to score and assist in 3 consecutive home games since 2003. The other 2 players are Karim Benzema and Luis Suarez. These are things that not even Messi or Ronaldo have ever done. Saka is reaching a new level of efficiency. 17 goal involvements in 19 matches this season, 7 goals and 10 assists. Saka is entering new conversations. After the game, he says on if he's happy that Mikel Arteta took him off. Saka says not really. I want to play 90 minutes if I'm honest, but I understand his decision. There's also another Arsenal player that we need to give flowers to. Kai Havertz has scored once again, becoming the 100th player to ever score at the Emirates Stadium. With a 7.3 overall rating and 1 goal scored, 27 accurate passes, 2 key passes, 1 shot on target, 1 out of 5 dribbles and 5 out of 14 ground balls. Those last 2 numbers are very interesting. Despite not being successful, the fact that Havertz is now trying to dribble, take his man on and make things happen, it's a sign that he's getting more confident. As Arteta says, Havertz is becoming better and better. He's more confident. His 2 goals were 2 very important goals as well, because one won us the game and today he opened the scoring. His overall contribution again was really good. Havertz's goal was very interesting, and the reason behind that is movement. Arriving into the box when others are sleeping, he was moving. That, my friends, is no coincidence. Havertz has always excelled at drifting into the right space. This becomes even more useful against deep blocks. Even when there's no space in the box, Havertz is finding himself free time and time again. As Arteta says after his goal against Brentford, on if that was the reason why he signed him. Yes, absolutely yes. Against this block and against teams that defend the box like this, you need this type of profile. He's exceptional at that. He won the game in the action for us. Arsenal could have signed a lot of attacking midfielders in the summer. James Maddison, Dominic Szoboszlai, both are fantastic players. Havertz offers something completely different. Movement of a top number 9 that's able to arrive into the box. Havertz is going to score some very important goals this season. There's also another very important aspect, with Mikel Arteta trying to make Arsenal the best off-the-ball team in the world. Havertz's defensive work rate is very underrated. This stats radar is a prime example. Havertz this season versus Xhaka last season. Look at the defensive side on the left-hand side. Havertz is outdoing Xhaka in every defensive aspect. I want to focus though on someone else. The performance of Martin Odegaard, this was fascinating. A 7.8 rating with 1 goal scored, 39 accurate passes, 1 key pass, 3 out of 3 long balls, 1 dribble and 7 ground balls won. Odegaard's defensive work rate was top. making 1 interception and winning 5 tackles. We need to focus though on his heat map. This was a different Martin Odegaard. As you can see, he was allowed to drop deeper and dictate play. Arsenal will finally play into Odegaard's strengths. That has a very important effect on Kai Havertz, allowing him to stay higher up the pitch. Odegaard was given the Arsenal midfield balance. We need to give flowers though to a certain Arsenal defender, Takehiro Tomiyasu, who was on fire. A 7.7 rating in only 45 minutes played. 2 fantastic assists, a 0.36 expected assist, 18 accurate passes, 3 key passes, 4 accurate long balls, 1 big chance created. We are witnessing a Tomiyasu evolution, increasing confidence on the ball to make things happen, decisive first time passing. The prime example was his first assist, to find Gabriel Martinelli with a first time pass. The second assist though for me was even more important, with Bukayo Saka constantly getting marked out on the right hand side. This was the prime example of what can happen when you give him an overlap. What is happening with the future of Tomiyasu though? According to recent reports out of Germany, Bayern Munich really pushed to sign Takehiro Tomiyasu last summer. They love the player and they want to sign him in January, but they have been informed that he is not for sale at this stage. Bayern will keep monitoring the player situation ahead of a potential move next summer. Tomiyasu is a unique profile. How many defenders in world football are able to play left back, right back and centre back? The timing of his reports are very important. As a reliable Team Using Ticks points out, the Tomiyasu links are almost certainly agent-led. Tommy is on comparatively low wages and has wanted an extension for a while now, but has been told he's on the waiting list of players that we want to extend but nothing has really happened. So no shock that it suddenly links to a massive club. Arsenal are not messing about though. As David Ornstein confirms, Arsenal have open negotiations with Takehiro Tomiyasu over a new long-term contract. Offer to the 25-year-old has been made. Expectation is the agreement will be reached in due course. It would extend and improve his current deal. Arsenal have a very bright future and 2 examples stand out straight away. Ethan Nwaneri and Miles Lewis-Skelly. Both were involved in Arsenal's matchday squad still under 17 years of age. Some Arsenal fans were frustrated. Mikel Arteta threw on the likes of Kiwior, Jorginho and Nketiah, not giving the youngsters the chance. Context is very important though. Mikel Arteta is trying to breed a competitive Arsenal environment. Any youngster that makes it into the first team needs to stand out massively. The prime example being Charles Sago Jr., a player that Mikel Arteta gave a start against Brentford because apparently he was training like a monster. Nwaneri and Lewis-Skelly have massive futures, but instead of giving them minutes for the sake of it, Arteta wants them to earn their place. Arsenal though have earned something else, a place in the last 16 of the Champions League. After Sevilla lost to PSV 3-2, Arsenal have officially won their group with 1 game spare, qualifying for the last 16 for the first time in 5 years. There's a reason to be excited. Look at these Champions League numbers. Of XG for and against, look at Arsenal on the top right hand side. One of the best defences and one of the best attacks. The scary part is that Arsenal are just warming up, with the starting 11 having the average age of just 24.4. Here are the teams that Arsenal could face in the next round as things stands. From Copenhagen to Napoli, Inter Milan, Lazio, PSG, Leipzig and Porto, Arsenal have jumped up to the 4 favourites to win this year's Champions League. The final being at Wembley, where Arsenal have a very good record. Moving on to the exciting transfer news. We've got a very important update from Fabrizio Romano, who understands that Arsenal have decided to seal a deal to sign David Raya in 2024. It's all guaranteed as the buy option clause will be triggered for £27 million. Raya has already signed a long-term contract as an Arsenal player for June 2024, it's all done. This makes so much sense and there's so many reasons why. To sign a goalkeeper of Raya's standard in the peak of his powers for £27 million, he may not have been perfect so far, but he's now kept 7 clean sheets in his last 13 games. When you compare him to Ramsdale's numbers, you see a clear difference. Per 90 minutes, more touches, more ball recoveries, more passes attempted, more long passes attempted, a higher long passing accuracy, more clean sheets, less goals conceded, more saves made, and a higher save percentage. Raya deserves his flowers, but the reason why he's not received them is because of Aaron Ramsdale, a player that was a massive part of our come up. Fans completely adore him. Raya gives Arsenal a different way of playing. This is the prime example of what? Against Lens, Raya is on the ball with his ball on the foot, with the whole point of inviting pressure. Even though Raya makes mistakes, he's more composed than Ramsdale in those fine margins. This is where Ramsdale's future gets interesting. According to reports in the UK, an approach from a bottom half Premier League side to Aaron Ramsdale has been rejected. Arsenal's position remains clear. They do not want to lose Ramsdale. Who exactly was the team though? According to Alex Wood, it's Wolves that want Ramsdale on a loan with the obligation to buy in January. There's an inevitable feeling about Ramsdale's future. This photo here of him with the Arsenal players after the Brentford game reminds me a lot of this photo of Leno when he started his last game for Arsenal against Aston Villa. Arsenal signed Ramsdale to a new long-term contract last season and that's very important. 25 years of age, an England international who's made it into the PFA team of the season. Arsenal could demand serious money. But what is happening in terms of incomings? Arsenal target Douglas Luiz was on fire, as Villa beat Tottenham 2-1. Luiz put up a 7.8 rating with 1 assist, 48 passes, 2 key passes, 5 accurate long balls and 1 big chance created. Luiz now has 9 goals and assists in all comps for Villa this season. You can see why Arteta likes it. Fabrizio Romano confirms that Arsenal have Luiz top of the midfield list, but Villa have no plan to sell him. As everybody says, Douglas is playing very good and his commitment is amazing. I want him here. I am very happy with him and I want to keep him, of course. I think he's happy with us too. Here's where Luiz has a massive dilemma. Thriving in Villa, having signed a new contract last season, Arsenal will most likely make an offer in January. It all comes down to the player. Is he willing to force a move to enter a team in Champions League football fighting for a title? There's also some intriguing news regarding Gabriel Moscardo. According to reports in Brazil, Corinthians want 20 to 25 million euros for Gabriel Moscardo. 18 years of age, a defensive midfielder, Moscardo has become a man in demand. There were some surprise reports out of Brazil that claimed that Chelsea had signed Moscardo for 25 million euros. That was far from the truth though. As Fabrizio Romano said, it's actually PSG that are set to open talks for Gabriel Moscardo. Chelsea are not going to bid for Moscardo as of now. Here's where Arsenal have to ask themselves the question. Moscardo's got great potential for the future, but at this stage of our project trying to find for a title, is it worth chasing already made midfielders? The positive news though is regarding Thomas Partey, as Mikel Arteta confirms that Partey is making good progress and is expected back before January. There was though a very intriguing quote, as Arteta said after the game against Lens, "We are really short at the back at the moment. We have to use the squad to make some changes." Arsenal only have one defender out as it stands, and that's Yuri and Timber. For Arteta to say this, it may be an indication that Arsenal are looking for a new defender. That's why we need to go to the Bundesliga. According to Fabrizio Romano, Arsenal have been scouting Jeremy Frimpong, who's got a release clause and is likely to move next June. That release clause is just £34 million. Arsenal may be seeing an opportunity. Where last year Frimpong was a wing-back, this year he's become an out-and-out right winger, getting 4 goals and 5 assists so far this season. There may be a Mikel Arteta connection. Frimpong came through the Man City Academy during the same time that Arteta was also at the club. The profile definitely stands out. As Arsenal look to support Bukayo, Saka, Frimpong could be a very good option to not only provide an overlap, but even potential rotation. But what about Arsenal's main area to address? Reports have claimed that centre forward is the area that Arteta is looking to improve. There's one very exciting option developing in Napoli. According to reports, Victor Osimhen is Mikel Arteta's first choice centre forward target. No movement expected for Arsenal in the centre forward market until his future is decided. Osimhen will decide between Arsenal or Chelsea. The reliable team wisdom takes 10 confirmed. This is true. Not sure about him deciding between us or Chelsea, although that seems logical. The rest is definitely correct. Arsenal and Osimhen have history. As Charles will confirm back in 2022, Osimhen's agent flew in to talk with Arsenal. The Nigerian striker was high up on Arsenal's target list. That's not where the story starts though. As Osimhen confirmed back in 2020, I spoke with Arsene Wenger after the Under-17 World Cup ended, and he wanted me to come to Arsenal. I had lots of options with Barcelona, Inter Milan, Atletico Madrid, Juventus, and the rest. Arsenal was a good option, but it wasn't the best at that time. I wanted to start playing as soon as I turned 18. That shows to me something very important. Osimhen is a very wise player. The next move he makes is going to be a very smart one. Even if Chelsea want to sign him, Arsenal is the far more logical destination. As Fabrizio Romano says, we know that Arsenal and Chelsea are both keeping an eye on strikers for 2024, so it's normal to see these links. But it's very important to reiterate, it's very difficult to consider those for January because Napoli insist they don't want to sell him in the middle of the season. But in the final year of his Napoli contract, Osimhen is a very good opportunity. 24 years of age, entering the peak of his powers. The same age that Arsenal signed Declan Rice. Last year, Osimhen had 26 goals in Serie A, only 3 from the penalty spots. What stands out to me is aerial ability. Osimhen is a proper fox in the box, with 7 headers scored last season. Osimhen is a box difference maker, which is exactly what Arsenal need. As the stats point out, so far this season, Arsenal are the highest team in the Premier League in terms of touches in the opposition box. Likewise, Arsenal are also first in terms of most penalty area entries. Arsenal need a ruthless goal scorer. Look at Osimhen's numbers last season. Overperforming his XG, 4.2 shots per game, and a 19% goal conversion. Signing an Osimhen profile could elevate Arsenal in so many ways. The likes of Odegaard, Saka and Martinelli would have a target. Havertz would have someone to link up with. Osimhen is not a player that Arsenal signed to win one league title. The long-term idea behind this is Arsenal wants a dynasty. They're building for an era of dominance. Moving on to the other Arsenal news today, we could be about to see a game-changing rule. According to reports in the UK, football is set to trial a new 10-minute sin bin in order to tackle things like dissent and tactical fouling. The punishment could be given to offences that are not quite yellow card or red card worthy, and it could be in the Premier League as early as next season. This would essentially be an orange card. Imagine the impact on the likes of Man City, the main offender being Rodri. With the amount of tactical fouls this guy makes, would you guys be for or against this rule change? We've also got some very important stats. This here is a comparison between Arsenal this year and last season. So far, our attacking numbers have gone down quite a bit, but look at the defensive numbers. We've gone up to first and second place. The bottom stat being very important. Arsenal have a higher expected goal difference. According to Sky pundit Jamie Carragher, with so many games that go into the wire, sometimes that can go against you. If Arsenal continue how they are, if this is the Arsenal we're going to see this season, I don't think they can win the league. Arsenal's attack definitely needs to improve. But Mikel Arteta has made a clear change. Arsenal have become defence first. With 14 away clean sheets at the start of last season, the most in the Premier League by a country mile, Arsenal have faced the least amount of shots on target in the Premier League this season, only 28 in total. But we need to talk about a certain William Saliba. His record in the Premier League now stands at 40 matches played, 30 wins, 6 draws and only 4 losses. Here's where the stats get even crazier. A total of 408 days have passed since Saliba last received a booking in the Premier League. For Arsenal, the games are coming thick and fast, as they take on Wolves in a massive game at the Emirates Stadium this Saturday. What's the latest in terms of team news? Well, as Mikel Arteta has revealed, Fabio Vieira has been suffering discomfort and has undergone an operation. He will now be out for weeks. Emile Smith-Rowe and Thomas Partey are both recovering. Here's the potential Arsenal lineup. David Raya in goal with a back four of Tomiyasu, Saliba, Gabriel Zinchenko, Rice, Havertz and Odegaard in midfield. The front three of Martinelli, Jesus and Saka. That is the video there and there though, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to smash a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to follow your boy on all of his social medias, then the links are down below in the description. But that was all of today's latest Arsenal news. A massive win against Lens, a 6-0 statement. With Wolves on Saturday, it's time to make another one. So I'll see you guys next time very soon. Take care.